Greetings, traveler, and welcome to another one of my speed builds. For today, our travels bring us to Ondarion, which is the world for The Sims 4 royalty and legacy, and we're building a Syrian house that is built in the Ottoman period. But hi, I'm back to YouTube in case you guys remember me, and I do owe you an explanation for why I've disappeared since May of last year, if I'm not mistaken, but I will get to that in a bit and explain a bit about it, I guess. But first, I'd like to discuss this build a bit and talk about the property that inspired this build, which is from the title of the video. It's called Beit Achiqbash. I'm sorry about the pronunciation, but I don't know how it's pronounced in Turkish. I'm just saying it based on the Arabic writing. Basically, this is a museum in Aleppo in Syria, and if you are new to my channel, I'm half Syrian. So yeah, I haven't seen this house myself, but there is a lot of history behind it, and I'd like to read a bit about it from the Wikipedia page. So Beit Achiqbash translates to the house of Achiqbash, which is the person that bought the property at some point. But let me read the history of this place from Wikipedia. So Beit Achiqbash is an old Aleppine courtyard mansion built in the mid-18th century by Kara Ali, or Karali, a wealthy Christian merchant. Beit Achiqbash is one of a number of historic buildings found in the El Jdeide Christian quarter of Aleppo. It was built in 1757. A Turk named Achiqbash later bought the house after the Karali moved to Alexandretta. The house is famous for its courtyard, which is extravagantly decorated in a Mamluk/Rococo style. The building was turned into a museum in 1973 and restored in the 1980s. It is well known for the fine carved ornaments that decorate its courtyard. I'm going to put a picture for you. Its style is said to have been greatly influenced by Baroque decorative traditions. The rooms on its eastern side were eliminated to make way for the street. Beit Achiqbash remains the home of the Popular Traditions Museum, with its collection of fine decorations of Aleppine art, along with artifacts of past local lives. I'm also going to put a few pictures of this because the interior is actually really beautiful, very ornamented and decorated just gorgeously. It's a real piece of art. The building, like much of Aleppo's old city, suffered severe damage and looting caused by street fighting during Syria's civil war. That's an understatement, but I don't want to get into politics. Anyway, here's a picture of the actual house in 2017. It was almost completely destroyed, as you can see, but it was actually renovated. Consolidation work on the structure began in 2019. As of August 23, 2021, restoration and construction work took place in the courtyard, including sculptural work, restoration of facades using original elements such as old chasuble stones. The second phase of the restoration was completed on September the 2nd, 2021. The main architect of the entire reconstruction is engineer Pierre Gassan. So yeah, this place is still a museum up to this day, and it can be visited, I guess. I'm not really sure about this information. I would absolutely love to visit it whenever I'm in Aleppo, if I'm ever in Aleppo. But yeah, that's basically the background of this house. But in The Sims, I just built a certain facade of this property, not the whole house, because it's actually pretty massive. So I just took one side of it, which is what you can see here, and I replicated that in a way. But it's not actually a courtyard house in The Sims because, like I said, it would have been massive. So yeah, it's just a regular house here, minus the courtyard and all the traditional elements that you would find in a Syrian courtyard house, basically. Okay, that's it about the build and the background story for the inspiration. Now I owe you an explanation for disappearing for nearly 1 year, almost. So basically, I wanted to take a break from The Sims because I was burnt out and completely out of inspiration. So it wasn't supposed to be this long of a break because this is like the longest break I've ever taken from The Sims 4 and from my channel, but I really needed it in the beginning. So basically, I bought a new desktop PC in like, I think, beginning of March last year, and I've never owned a decent gaming a decent gaming setup ever since my PlayStation 2. So I took advantage of having this new desktop, and I just wanted to play all the video games that I've been missing out on since forever ago. So I just started playing other video games. In fact, I'm gonna pull out my Steam and show you just the games that I've been playing since then. Okay, so from this screenshot, what I started playing when I took the break was Kingdom Come Deliverance, and it's one of my favorite video games. I got so hooked on it. I played it for a long time, and I replayed it, and that's basically like what really got me busy and away from The Sims 4 in the beginning. And then I played Hogwarts Legacy. I played it once. It's a fun game, but it's not that great. And then I played Dragon Age Veilguard. If you're a fan of the Dragon Age series, you know that this game just doesn't hold a candle in front of the first 3 games. It was kind of disappointing, to say the least. And I played... never mind Skyrim or Witcher or Assassin's Creed, because I've already played these before. I played The Plague Tale, both games, Innocence and Requiem. It's an amazing game, honestly. It's so beautiful. And then I think May comes, and that's where I get really hooked and absorbed into one specific video game, which is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And this game consumed my life for months, and I'm still obsessed with it up to this day. But yeah, I just couldn't play anything else. I couldn't think of anything else. I couldn't listen to any other music. I still listen to the music to this day because it's just that amazing. In fact, around that time, I was like, I need to get back to The Sims. So I thought that if I built something from the game, that I'd be inspired enough to get back to The Sims. But honestly, it just didn't scratch that itch, I wanted more of Expedition 33. Just, replicating or building something inspired by the game wasn't enough by itself. So I did abandon that build and just never finished working on it, but I do want to finish it someday and show it to you guys because it's actually really good. But anyway, yeah, Expedition 33 took like months of my life. And then after that, my mom got very sick. She's been struggling with cancer for quite some time at that point, and I just needed an escape from everything. So I decided to buy and play Baldur's Gate because I knew that the moment I bought that game that it wasn't gonna consume me completely, and it did. It also took months of my life, complete obsession, almost 3 playthroughs or 4 playthroughs at this point. And around that time there was this whole sucky thing going on with EA and The Sims, like the whole buyout and just putting out expansion packs and kits and stuff that I just wasn't very happy about. So I did not want to get back to the game at that point, because I've been very unhappy about every single thing and every single decision they've been taking since almost, like, I don't know, October last year, was it? Or before that? I don't even remember. So yeah, and then this whole thing with the marketplace happened, and it was just like, oh, come on, EA, what the hell are you doing? However, I am back now because I had to deal with the grief of eventually losing my mom to cancer somehow. So I wanted to come back to something familiar and cozy and something that felt like home to me, which is this channel and building in The Sims. I just needed something to pour some creativity into because I basically haven't done anything creative since taking this break. And it's just a way to cope, I guess, with the grief that I'm dealing with right now. But yeah, here we are right now, and I'm back to my channel, but I don't want to get into more personal details too much. So yeah, I just want to show you the games that I still want to play somehow. I will be alternating between The Sims and between these other video games that I want to play because I can't devote my entire time to The Sims. I don't have much free time with work and everything. So I do have a 2-play list, and it's very expensive. Expansive, not expensive. Although it is expensive too. That's not a lie. But yeah, also I forgot to mention earlier that I did play Cyberpunk as well. I was super obsessed with it. As a Witcher fan, I love CD Projekt Red, and I was very happy with this game as well, even though it's not my style, but it's awesome. And I also played... there are games that I didn't finish, like Red Dead Redemption 2, Nier Automata, and now I'm currently playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is also taking most of my time. And then I want to play Horizon Zero Dawn. I did start it, but I didn't get that deep into it yet. I want to play Final Fantasy VII Remake, Resident Evil Village, and then also the newer one. Disco Elysium, GTA 5. I haven't played it yet. I need to play it before the 6th comes out, if it ever comes out. Fable, Divinity Original Sin, which is also from the creators of Baldur's Gate. Death Stranding, because I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I want to give it a try. I also bought the BioShock games, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna play them yet. And I bought both Hades games because I absolutely love the soundtrack and I listen to it all the time. So, I mean, that's it. Somehow I will try to balance between actually creating in The Sims and then playing other video games. But enough about that, let's actually talk about the build. So now we're currently in the kitchen, and I really love the interior of this house. Here I'm using a combination of the Woodland Ranch kitchen from Pierre Sim for these beautiful counters, and also some shelving, and also this oven hood from the Grove set from Felixandre. And I just wanted a lot of this kind of plaster texture in all of the house. So these two sets go really well together because they're plastery. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I've added a new CC creator to my game, who is Valia. She has some pretty great CC, so I have been using her in the last couple of builds. And if you see me placing this painting there on the hood above the oven, I just love this idea so much. I've seen it on Pinterest, I think, and it's just like people having paintings on their oven hood, and I just think it's really lovely and a nice way to decorate your otherwise plain oven hood. I tried my best not to use that many packs in this build. I'm not really sure if I've succeeded in that, but I did try to stay mindful of which CC sets I'm using. This beautiful fireplace is also from the Woodland Ranch CC pack by Pierre. And just a side note here that I initially forgot to put a fridge, which is so typical of me, but I do put it later on, and I do show that in the footage, so don't worry, there is a fridge in the kitchen. The stone walls that I'm using throughout the interior and exterior are actually from the Royalty and Legacy expansion pack. I used the stone walls that come with it. And we have this beautiful flagstone floor, which is from the organic set by House of Harlex. As usual, I do have a list of all the CC I'm using, and you're gonna find the link in the description, which goes to my Patreon, where I have my whole list. But I do like to mention any single pieces that I'm using throughout the build, just in case you want to know like where this specific piece comes from. What I do love about this fireplace from Pierre is that paintings can snap onto it. So yeah, I used this beautiful painting from the estate set by Felix Andre, and it just snaps onto the fireplace by itself. But not all paintings snap for a reason, just some of them. I needed something here to fill the middle space of the kitchen, so I did put a dining table just with a couple of chairs, just to have something, but it's not the actual dining table for your Sims, although they can eat here if they want to. Another set that I've used in this build is the Pizza Party, I think, set from Cluttercat, and this clutter on the table and also the tomato plant is from that set. It's so cute. And now we're just placing the fridge that I forgot earlier, as I mentioned. And after this, we're moving on to the main entrance hallway that I turned into the dining room, because I didn't really have any other space to put a dining area. Also, I added some of these resin platforms and some of the ground floor, as you can see. The tiles are actually from the Courtyard Oasis kit, and I got this idea from the actual interior of the real property. They kind of have this sunken entrance, and then you go up to the actual room. So I kind of reversed it here. So instead of like going into a pit and then going up into the room, you kind of enter into an elevated area and then go down to the actual room, if that makes any sense. I did this because, you know, following the original inspiration would have been more difficult, like having the entire house on a resin platform wouldn't be so practical. So yeah, this was my alternative solution. And here I am making a beautiful gallery wall with all of these beautiful paintings and portraits. And then here by the stairs, I actually wanted to make a mudroom, but I changed my mind. So instead of that, it's just like this little hallway / back door entrance, because this does exit to the little gardening area we have in the back. It would have been great as a mudroom, but I feel like it kind of would have ruined the vibe and the look of the place. So yeah, I went with something more decorative instead. This door over here leads to the ground story bathroom, which I don't show in this video because it's small and boring, and it's very similar to the upstairs bathroom. And then we're moving on to the living room afterwards, and I really like the idea that I did with the living room. I basically took the same counters from the kitchen and kind of lined them up on the walls in this room. I'm also using the same fireplace here, and I do put a TV on that, even though it's not very practical IRL, but you know, this is The Sims. And yeah, I'm basically gonna clutter up these plaster counters with a lot of decoration and clutter. And then I also wanted the traditional but also a modern touch in the house, so I'm kind of mixing pieces here. It's not just traditional and cultural pieces, but there are a few modern pieces as well. And now that I'm saying it, I guess this archway that I use here doesn't really make much sense with the rest of the house. I think I would have preferred to use something different, but oh well. I'm using the sofa from the Grove set as well as the armchair, and then the double-seater is from the Harry, I think Shop the Look, if I'm not mistaken, Shop the Look 2 or no, it's 3. Or either that or the clean set. Sorry guys, I am having trouble remembering the names of the sets because it's been ages since I played with my CC and my game. Yeah, so I am pairing that with the beautiful table from the Organic set and a nice carpet from the Woodland Ranch set by Pierresim. And then what I wanted to do here also by the window is make a window seat, but it's not actually functional, obviously, because it's placed on top of the kitchen counters, but we can pretend that it's actually functional. So yeah, I'll just continue this voiceover in the first floor. Here we are on the first floor, and if you noticed, I built a couple of bay windows in this house. Here's the first one here. These are actually pretty typical in old Syrian architecture. They're usually made of wood, but I think I forgot to change the interior wallpaper here, so it's just stone like the rest of the house. But anyway, this actually isn't functional because these are basically not actual sofas that your Sims can sit on. They're actually tables. But even if you put a real sofa behind that, it wouldn't be functional because it's basically right behind an open archway, which is not possibly functional in The Sims. But anyway, this is a hallway that leads to the bedrooms. There's not much going on here, just this laptop that I'm gonna put here, and I'm also gonna put a foosball table. And then after that we have a main bathroom and main bedroom and 2 bedrooms for the kids. There's also this little space here that's like a tiny playroom for the kids. I'm still using the same stone floor and walls that I used on the ground floor here, but I will eventually change things up in the bedrooms and, as you can see, in this room here. So here's the little playroom that I was talking about. If you can see this ladder, it leads to the small room on the rooftop that you probably saw in the beginning. And I also turned that into a laundry room, but I don't show it on camera because it's just, you know, it's a boring laundry room. And also, if you don't like laundry gameplay, you can remove those things and just turn it into whatever else you want. And right now I am doing the main bathroom. I'm using the same tile from the Courtyard Oasis kit. Most of the clutter I'm using here in the bathroom is from Pierre Sim's Tidying Up set, which comes in 3 parts, I believe, and it's the same set that I use for the laundry room upstairs. And then the rest of the stuff is from the basic bathroom and from the estate set. This is the main bedroom. I am using here the estate bed, and I think also the actual like bed sheets and stuff. And the side tables are from the Shop the Look 3 from Felix Andre. And then those beautiful candles on the walls are from Clutter Cat. They're just perfect for this build because they have this Arabic kind of vibe. I am using the estate set a lot here. And then I wanted something more unique on the wall here, so I wanted a tapestry rug to be hung on the wall. So I did this trick with the T.O.O.L Mod where I rotated an actual floor rug and then just placed it on the wall. And then I was initially gonna do like either a separate small bathroom for the parents in this room here or a walk-in closet, but I thought that'd be too typical and boring. So I actually turned the little room to the left here into a sewing room, and I basically used this one set from Ciboulette, which is called Sew and Tell, and it's mostly just sewing clutter. It's not actually functional because we do not have that kind of functionality in the Sims 4 gameplay. Right now I'm doing the kids' bedrooms and I'm using the same kind of sitting area in the bay windows, which is not functional, and it's kind of split between the 2 rooms here with this wall in the middle. I'm using a few very cute kids sets here. We have the Clutter Cat Forest Friends, which this beautiful house is from. And then there's also the little critters set from Ciboulette, and it's actually very similar to the Clutter Cat set, so they pair really well together, and the other set even has the same kind of house that you place on top of the bed or the sofa or whatever. I'm at a point where I'm very happy with the kids sets that I have. I have a few really cute ones from a few different creators, and I will be using those in all of my builds, basically, instead of just sticking to the Tiny Traveler set and the Fairylicious set. But yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much it for my voiceover. I'm just gonna do the other kids' room and that's it. So yeah, thank you again for watching, and I hope you guys didn't forget me and you watch my content again. I will be putting out content in my free time whenever I have inspiration for it and whenever I have time. So I hope you guys stick around. And I hope you do forgive me for disappearing, especially the guys who continued supporting me and checking up on me during this whole break. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Bye.